Hello everyone. Today we are going to be talking about conditionals in English. Now, what are conditionals? So a conditional sentence is used to talk about a result that is based on a condition. Alright? We are talking about probability, likelihood, etc. So we have a condition and then we have a result. All the conditionals that you see on the board are going to talk about different types of scenarios, and they will vary based on probability and time, right? In terms of foundation, a conditional sentence comprises an if clause as well as a main clause. The if clause is going to give us the condition, and the main clause is going to give us the result. Okay, what would happen, what will happen if x y sorry about that, xyz, right? So let's look at the different types of conditionals that we have in English. One, we have the zero conditional. Okay, the structure is going to be if followed by the present simple form of the verb, and then the result is going to be the present simple is also going to be used with the result. Okay, so this entire sentence is in the present simple. We call that a zero conditional. Why do we use zero conditionals? Well, we use them to talk about general truths or facts. These can be personal or they can be scientific. For example, if you know the answer, you are a genius. Yeah? Or if we use antibiotics, we kill good bacteria. So in this case, if we use antibiotics, we kill good bacteria. That's a fact. That's actually scientifically proven. All right. And in this example, if you know the answer, you are a genius. That's a personal truth. And that will depend on the sorry, that will depend on the situation, okay? So anything that is universally true or will always be true, we can use the zero conditional to express that. All right. More information. The if can almost always be replaced by when, right? In this case, we can see this. When we use antibiotics, we kill good bacteria. Okay, that preserves the meaning. We can put when in place of if. But in this case, when you know the answer, you are a genius, it doesn't fit as perfectly as it would have fit here. But generally, we can use if in place of, we can use when in place of if, and the meaning will stay the same. We can also change the order. You are a genius if you know the answer. We kill good bacteria if we use antibiotics. We don't always have to mention the condition first. We can mention the result and then the condition can follow. Okay? So just remember the order is flexible. In addition to this, with the result, we can also use the imperative. For example, if she cries, hug her. So you see hug is in the imperative, it's a command. I could switch the order. Hug her if she cries. So that's just another example that you can use the imperative in the main clause, right? So zero conditional, if followed by present simple, and the the main clause will also be in the present simple, right? Good. And it's used to talk about general truths or facts. All right. 2, first conditional. Now, we utilize if, or the condition is going to be in the present simple, but the result will be in the simple future, right? Why do we use this? It is used to talk about future situations that are possible. So yes, if Chelsea wins the league, I will be happy. That is true though. If it is easy, everyone will do it. Now, if you look at these sentences, what you will realize is that, and I just used an example of a first conditional. But anyways, you will realize that the result is probable. It is likely. Okay? It is not certain. If this condition is met, it is possible that this will happen, right? Because we are talking about probability, an event being possible, we can also use modal verbs to express the result, such as may or might. So I could also say, if Chelsea wins the league, I may be happy. If it is easy, everyone may do it. That is a perfect substitution because we are talking about a future scenario that is possible. It is not certain, it is possible. If, of course, the condition is met, right? So we use the first conditional to talk about future situations that are possible. All right? Moving along. Number 3, second conditional. So this structure is a bit more complicated. We have if followed by the past simple, followed by would, and then the verb in the base form, right? This describes events that are probably not going to happen in the future. It is also used to talk about events that are impossible in the present, all right? So, if I won the lottery, I would buy a helicopter. Now, what are my chances of winning the lottery? Very slim, right? So this condition represents an event that is very something that's very unlikely to happen, right? I would buy a helicopter. So the result obviously has to be based on the condition, and because the condition is so unlikely, this is what we hypothetically would do. So this situation is what we would call a hypothetical. What you would do if X were to happen, right? If I met Jesus, I would cry. Again, very, very unlikely that that is going to happen, okay? Now, earlier I said if that were to happen, right? Notice that I said were and not was. When we are using the verb to be in the condition, right? We always use were. We never use was. In conversations, we may say was, but it is actually correct to say were, right? For example, if I were you, I would listen to my father, okay? Most persons would say if I was you. Well, no, that's not a bad example. That's a bad example. Let's use another subject. If if she were alive, she would disagree. Most persons would say if she was alive, she would disagree, but no, if she were alive. So when we're using to be like this in the with this conditional, second conditional in the condition, we use were, right? And that also represents or illustrates that the events that are impossible in the present, right? Because if I were you, I can't be you. I can never be you. So that's impossible, all right? Another point on the second conditional is that we can use the continuous form. We can use the continuous form to talk about the condition. In that case, we would use the past continuous. If I were being honest, I would tell him. If I were being honest, I would tell him. Okay? That is going to be an example of the continuous form or the past continuous being used with the condition. It can also be used for the result. If I spoke German, I would be living in Germany. Pretty impossible because I do not speak German. All right, so I cannot be living in, so I cannot live in Germany, right? If I spoke German, I would be living in Germany, right? So we can also use the continuous, not only in the condition, not only in the condition, yes, but also in the result, right? And finally, we have the third conditional, all right? The structure is going to be if, followed by the past perfect, followed by would have, and then the past participle, okay? This is used to talk about an event in the past that did not happen. So it's basically past, we're going back in the past to something that did not happen. But if it did happen, this would be the result, okay? So if we had more time, we would have done it properly. So you see, we have the past perfect in the condition. If we had more time, we would have done it properly. If Sally had known about it beforehand, she would have said something. So we're talking about the past, what we would have done if things were different. So this is often used to talk about complaints. For example, when we said if we had more time, you would hear students say that when they have just finished an exam. If we had more time, we would have done it properly, or we would have finished, right? So if we want to talk about the past, right? A condition in the past, or something that did not happen in the past, right? Something that we would have wished for, but did not happen, we can use the third conditional, and then the result would just be used to talk about what we would have done if X had happened. All right. So I hope that you were able to comprehend everything. Thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one.